Here we go. Bada bing, bada boom.
City Hall.
Call to order. All right, welcome everyone to the latest meeting of the Conservation Advisory Council. First, we'd like to start with a presentation, from Peter Frank and,
Kate Collins said
Kate
she was-
Kate Collins is online.
says she's joining momentarily.
Oh, she's joining momentarily. All right, well, let's, as soon as
I
you get.
can,
Can you start now? We have a few little admin stuff to do, so while she gets on.
Okay.
Well, can we accept the minutes from last meeting? Yes? Yes, okay, great, good, fine. She there yet? No?
I don't see her.
Okay. Do we want to have, in terms of, climate smart, do we want to have another climate smart subcommittee meeting between
I
now?
think we need to.
We need to.
This past month,
Okay.
we were very busy with. yesterday.
Issues, okay, so I'll make this quick.
I
So
haven't done it.
I spoke to Tara yesterday. I said,
Haley's like,
yes, replacement.
okay,
So she's going through all of her planned items this week. I'm gonna speak with her again on Monday, just to see, so she's gonna tell us what we need to do.
Okay.
Point wise and action items, and then what I could do is relay that information to us, and so that we can figure out where we're at, and then just, fix things, and then before May.
would we get the mandatory items done, the task force?
Yeah, that I put in, so she's.
So it's all, you've got everything.
I got those 30 points.
Okay, great.
I put them in, but she's looking at it.
Yeah.
So that's in, I got mine ready for I'm working on one of Andrew's and, yeah. So, okay.
Because I have a few that I can still.
Also membership wise, we have, over the past month, we've lost two people. Andrew and Michael O'Hara have resigned.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yes. So that is, womp womp. That is a sad thing. So we have, how many are we?
Skeleton crew.
Huh?
Skeleton.
Skeleton, I mean, we're 5, we could be 9, so, on the lookout, at one time we had too many people, now. That's.
I see Hillary has returned.
I know, we're gonna. Rope you in. All right, I think we're ready.
You just volunteered, it's on.
Okay. Let's
Before I start,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, just a quick question about Andrew. He had asked about some updates for the website that I had sent him. Do I need to send those to someone else now?
Did
Just
you
to
only
make sure
send
that-
them to Andrew?
I can't remember. Should I just resend them to you?
Resend,
Yeah.
yeah, resend them to me, fine.
I'll find them and resend.
We
Okay.
also have to figure out. the name.
So I'm Peter Frank. I'm joined tonight by Kate Conson on Zoom.
Yeah,
Welcome to talk about the water quality work at Oakdale Lake. As you may or may not know, this work was led by, Friends of Oakdale Lake and Tamar Adler for many years. Last year, Friends of Oakdale Lake and Friends of Hudson River merged. And we've taken over, for this work. And they received 2 successive, DEC, climate justice grants, and we just received a 3rd one, and they raised the ceiling this year, so, we got $200,000 for the next 2 years, which is gonna allow us to do some new and exciting things at Oakdale. And oh, I'm sorry, we got a 3rd successive DEC grant I'll stand for $200,000, which is gonna allow us to do a lot of new and exciting things at the field. And I'm gonna let Kate walk us through that. Kate is a scientist.
Thank you. So sort of like I play one on TV. I'm sorry if can you guys all hear me right now? Yeah, okay, perfect. Can you see a screen or should I be sharing my screen? What's happening?
See the screen. Share.
Oh yeah, okay, perfect. I'll share. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you guys had a way of this. Okay, can you see a screen now?
Yes.
yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so as Peter said, sorry, I am gonna just run us through like a little brief history of what's happened at the lake so far since we got our first community impact grant. And then I'll talk briefly about phase 3, which is an exciting announcement and a lot of money, which is great. So the project started in 2020. The overall goal of the original project, which I think had like the name was Oakdale Lake Water Quality Amelioration Project, which is a little bit of a mouthful. So we're just calling it now Oakdale Lake Water Quality Project. So the overall goal was to improve water quality and support safe public use of the lake. Phase one occurred from 2020 to 2022. The first grant was $100,000. It was administered by Columbia Land Conservancy, but led by Friends of Oakdale Lake, as Peter said. It was a comprehensive watershed and lake assessment. So it established baseline conditions in terms of water quality, nutrient levels, submerged aquatic vegetation, benthic communities, and hydrology. It mapped the watershed. It mapped the depth or the bathymetry of the lake to help us understand what might be contributing to water quality issues. And then we used all of that information in the United States Environmental Protection Agency's Aquatox modeling, which is a predictive model in which you put in all of these inputs and the data you collect, and it outputs what is predicted to happen over time. So it can, without us monitoring continuously and showing any times when oxygen within the lake might be low, it can predict that based on the information that you feed it. And so from there, that identified a number of mitigation measures, which included like watershed level mitigation measures such as rain gardens or plantings around the lake to intercept any stormwater. It also identified dredging and like more intensive mitigation measures for the lake. And then phase two was from 2023 to 2025. Again, it was $100,000. Columbia Land Conservancy, once again, was the administrator. Friends of Oakdale Lake led it. It expanded citizen science monitoring. Sorry, I should have said that. For phase one, it was really focused on having citizen scientists also come out and measure water quality and take water samples. I'm so sorry, my daughter is screaming, if you can hear that. And so phase two expanded on that citizen science monitoring. Every year we do a citizen science training where we have a community event. People come out to the lake and we run them through how to use all the scientific measuring instruments. And then throughout the summer, 3 or 4 times a summer, volunteers come out with us to collect those water samples. So it's like a nice way for people to have a touch point on the lake and get hands-on experience. We've had a number of youth come out as well, and they can put this on their resume as something that they've volunteered for and had experience with a Chemomir bottle, which is not something that all youth can say, which is great for them if they're starting out in a natural resource career path. So we expanded that, and then we again expanded the modeling. We entered more information into it, which just makes it more accurate in its predictions. And then in phase two, we also started to implement some of the mitigation measures, like light touch mitigation measures. So such as submerged aquatic vegetation, harvesting at peak biomass to remove some of the phosphorus, which would address some of the eutrophication issues that we were seeing. So all of this was funded by the DEC, the Department of Environmental Conservation at the state level, through their Environmental Justice Community Impact Grant. The outcomes of the first 2 phases was building this long-term data set that we can continue to use as a baseline as we move forward into the future and implement more mitigation measures. It also identified persistent eutrophication in this system, and I'll talk a little bit more about what eutrophication is. But eutrophication often leads to harmful algal blooms, which is an ongoing public health risk, and one that we saw in 2024 expanded across the state with hot weather. And it's projected to be more of an issue as climate change continues to wreak havoc on our systems. And so what's really great about this project is it integrates science and community monitoring to support adaptive management of this shared resource in Oakdale Lake. So the lake is eutrophic, and what does that mean? It means that there's high nutrients. In Oakdale Lake specifically, it's phosphorus. It can be phosphorus or nitrogen in any system. It's when these excess nutrients enter a water body, that can be from debris from leaves falling, that can be from runoff from the road, that can be runoff from residential areas if they're using fertilizer, and that leads to excessive algal growth and excessive plant growth. And then that can lead to reduced oxygen levels and a degradation of the aquatic ecosystem. And the mechanism from that is when plant materials such as algae or submerged aquatic vegetation starts to die off, bacteria decomposes that material, and that process uses oxygen. And when that happens and you have a large amount of material and a large amount of bacteria decomposing that material, it continues to reduce the oxygen, which can impact fish, it can impact benthic communities. And then also, if you've had Oakdale Lake, for example, has been managed as a lake and impounded since 1906, since its inception. So if you have that much material building up since 1906, so that's 110 years or more, you start to have phosphorus potentially, or those nutrients trapped in the sediment. And when oxygen reduces, that actually untethers the phosphorus from the sediment and can cause the phosphorus to be released back into the water column. And so what you have is a feedback loop, a positive feedback loop, where you have algal masses dying, you have decomposers decomposing that in terms of bacteria, and then you have another release of phosphorus. So it's an internal loop that can be very difficult to disrupt. And so moving forward into phase 3 and the implementation of these mitigation measures, that's really what the aim is to start interrupting that cycling. And so we saw what was predicted in the model in the first 4 years of this project in 2024 with the harmful algal bloom and the beach closure. What's interesting about that is the algae levels in the water were actually lower in 2023 and 2024 than they were in 2020 and 2021. And I'm not going to take up time talking about why that could be, but it's an interesting phenomenon, and one I think we'll continue to see until we see a really meaningful reduction in phosphorus in the system. So the mitigation measures from phase 1 and 2, we had, as I said, the light touch points, which included experimental barley straw applications with the Hudson High School science students. And there was some literature that we had initially discovered that indicated that barley straw, when it starts to decompose, can have a chemical reaction that reduces algal growth in lakes. I don't think that experiment fully came to fruition in terms of those results for us, and that might just be the scale of the pilot. It was a very small area that we were working with, and so we're not continuing that into phase 3, but it was really interesting to do for the first 2 phases. We also implemented bottom aeration. So we have 4 aerators that sit on the bottom, and their intended purpose is to continue to provide oxygen in that lower level to reduce the amount of phosphorus that's being released from the sediment when those oxygen levels become too low. And then we have, as I mentioned before, targeted SAV removal of a specific invasive species called curly pondleaf. And when you remove that at peak biomass, for example, which means like at the pinnacle of its growth, when you remove that in June, for example, you are removing all that trapped phosphorus. So it can be a really effective method for reducing nutrients in the system. And then we also started, we started algicide applications with some newer technology with pond and lake management. And we obtained permits from the DEC for this. And that is helping control algae growth, and will also continue to control HAB occurrences as we move into the summer and future years for our recreation. So there were some additional next steps and higher touch point mitigation measures that we were looking at but weren't implementing in the first couple of phases, and that we're planning to implement in phase 3. So that includes the addition of a surface aerator. So that's a fountain type thing that will break up algal maps within the swimming area. So that will be nice from an aesthetic purpose, but also from, dispersing some of that material. And then we will be continuing to remove some of the submerged aquatic vegetation either this year or next year. It depends on how much curly leaf pondweed grows this year versus next year. We'll continue with the algicide applications. We are going to be planning targeted sediment dredging to remove that sediment laden or that phosphorus laden sediment from the beach area specifically. This has a dual purpose for us. This is going to be not only removing phosphorus, but it will just be a nicer swimming experience for the community using the area. And then we'll continue with this phase 3 of the ongoing monitoring and adaptive management. So this grant round, or this cycle, as Peter said, is $200,000. Friends of Hudson Youth is administering and leading this project. The goal for this phase is to transition from the assessment and issue identification phases to the active lake remediation and long-term management of this resource for the community. So we're also going to start doing some dissolved oxygen monitoring, which will be exciting because until now we didn't have actual continuous data for that. We've just been doing predictive modeling. So we'll actually get a really good insight into what's going on in terms of the oxygen levels. And we'll continue all the mitigation measures that I just spoke about. We'll continue the citizen science monitoring portion of our project, and then we'll be doing adaptive management. So at the end of this, we'll do the data analysis, we'll understand what mitigation measures are working and what aren't, and if there needs to be more aggressive mitigation measures implemented. For now, the dredging is the most aggressive that you can get. And for now, we're doing a very small targeted area, and we can expand that as we go if we continue to see issues. That's not really something we're contemplating right now, but it is an option in the future. So the expected, and then, sorry, we will be amping up our community and environmental justice focus. So that's through the community science, but more youth engagement through Friends of Hudson Youth. So we're really excited about Hudson Youth leading this for us, or Friends of Hudson Youth, and then focusing on making sure that we're monitoring for HABs late in the summer when they tend to crop up. So the expected outcomes of phase 3 is reduced HAB frequency over time, improved oxygen and water clarity, and which will help with the aesthetics of using the lake in the summertime. That will all lead to stabilizing the lake ecosystem and then improving the aesthetics for recreational use. So I will end my presentation there. And if you have questions, I'm sure Peter and I are more than happy to answer them, but we can always come back also with interim updates if you'd like.
Thank you. Just wanted to add a couple of things. If you're interested, there are more in-depth reports available online, as well as a video presentation on Friends of Hudson Youth's website. I can send you the links for those. We are going to be, as Kate said, we are going to be starting up the citizen science training and monitoring again this summer. That's going to happen in mid to late June. We haven't confirmed a date, but also an email. And then if you want to join that project, it's really fun and interesting way to volunteer, and it's not that much work. Also, in terms of timeline, most of the things that Kate talked about, we all are going to be doing this spring and summer. The dredging won't happen until the fall because of timelines for permitting. We have our DEC permit already for the algicide treatments, but it's a much more complicated permit for the dredging. And the fall is actually a better time to do it in terms of fish laying their eggs and stuff like that. It's a less disruptive time to do it. So that will be in the fall. So you won't see that change in the swimming area until 2027.
So are you here just as like an FYI, just like keep us in the loop?
Yes.
Oh, great. But there's no, I mean, just wondering if there was like
A call to action.
yes, a task.
Well, if anybody would like, to volunteer with the citizen action, I would like, I just think, as the Conservation Advisory Council, it's, this is, I think, one of the most exciting environmental initiatives going on in the city, and we just wanted to make sure we make you aware of it. And I'll also mention that Friends of Hudson Youth is doing a couple of other conservation projects. We are along the guardrail on 6th Street. We're putting in a native plant hedgerow, 350 feet. All native plants, all pollinator friendly, which will be in a long, narrow deer exposure. And I've already talked to Sam, and we'll bring some of the DEC seedlings that you're getting in that. but we're also getting larger 2 and 5 gallon understory trees and shrubs from Arthur's Point Farm for that. And we've also, for the last 2 years, we've run youth work weeks with partnering with Greenagers. Last year, we removed invasive species and planted about 100 trees and shrubs inside a 1/3 of an acre deer exclosure that surrounds a ravine where there's a lot of runoff into the lake. So we want to, buffer the runoff there as well as restore the understory. It's only a 1/3 of an acre. I'm sure you could do a lot more. But as you know, with deer overbrowse, the understory is very sick at Oakdale Park as well as everywhere else in the county. So we're trying to do what we can to restore it. This year, 6 teams from Hudson High, along with Greenagers, did a really incredible project repairing the trail and bridge. They felled locust trees on the property, stripped the bark, drilled them and installed a new retaining wall along a part of the trail that was eroding. And it looks really wonderful, and the teams had an incredible time showing a lot of skills. And it was the kind of project that was really like, wow, I built this kind of thing. And they got paid. So it was great for everybody. So we are going to also be recruiting volunteers. Both the new plantings that we're doing along 6th Street and the planting we did last year needs weeding and watering, and we're looking for anybody who wants to participate in that project. We would love to have you.
Thank you, Peter. Yeah, okay. And thank you just for the work that you've
Yeah.
done. with
No,
us.
thank you, Kate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Kate.
No, it's great.
Such a good resource to our
Great, yeah,
community.
Can I ask you a question?
quick.
So, thank you for your wonderful presentation, your wonderful human being, Kate. So I understand the phosphorus is the problem, large, right? And removing the phosphorus would be advantageous. So the way I understand, there's 2 prongs of attack in this, which is the removing of the curly algae as well as dredging. Now, there are other avenues to explore in terms of removing phosphorus.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Lloyd. So there's a number of the mitigation measures that have been implemented are to address phosphorus. Dredging is one of them because, as I said before, phosphorus, when there's enough oxygen in the system, phosphorus binds to the sediment and is then stored in the sediment. But when those oxygen levels deplete, then it is re-released, right? So dredging is one of them. I would say like submerged aquatic vegetation harvesting when in like peak growth times is also a very effective method because that plant growth uses the phosphorus to fuel its growth. And then that phosphorus is trapped in the tissue of the plants, right? And so when you remove that and remove it from the lake, that's again doing that.
Those are the 2 you've
Yeah.
outlined. Now, I'll ask
Yeah.
you additional.
There are not that would be environmentally sensitive. There's also an underlying issue that we didn't touch on tonight because we don't have a way of testing the hypothesis, but there is an unconfined aquifer under Oakdale Lake. It is spring fed. There is a real like shallow connection between groundwater and Oakdale Lake, which is the beauty of Oakdale Lake. So, but it's entirely possible that aquifer is also phosphorus laden water because of ongoing farming in the area, like how everything was managed prior to in the 90s, the 2000s. And so it's very possible that there is going to be ongoing phosphorus input from the aquifer connection as well. So, and then on top of that, and this is something that actually CAC, I'd be happy to talk more about this because I don't think we have time tonight, but there are some pipes at the top of the spring where there's some stormwater conveyance infrastructure that's from Greenport area. It's pretty degraded. And then there's a few mystery pipes that have higher phosphorus output, regardless of if it's a storm event or if it's dry weather. And this is something that I know Tamar from Friends of Oakdale Lake spoke to, Rob Perry about. This is something that is the next thing to look at, as how to shut off some of those inputs. It's not very high. It's not a high discharge from those pipes. But it is something to look at. That water, though, then travels through a wetland for an extended period of distance. Sorry, it's quite a distance right before it joins Oakdale Lake. But there's a possibility that there's a link of that water being overloaded with phosphorus entering in a constant stream. So we'll have to look into that still. But that is something that maybe CAC, like, we need a little bit more push, I think, from other organizations to help us with the city starting to explore that.
I'm assuming too that you're keeping, DPW in the loop on all this as well, right?
Yeah, I think for a while there it was a little separate, but I plan to meet with Rob Perry a few times.
Okay, great.
Thank you,
Yeah.
just one more.
Okay, Lloyd.
I just wanted to figure out if the aquifer underneath it, whether it's feasible to measure that phosphorus, what would be involved in determining.
Yeah, that's a great question. We'd have to do water samples from there. That would be a specialized consultant contract, something we didn't think would be as impactful as the work that we're doing to mitigate and make it a pleasant swimming environment. I just want to say phosphorus isn't dangerous to us, like, as humans, and it's an imbalance, but it's still a natural state. And so we are focusing more on, yes, the ecological, but also like enjoying this resource for the community. And so there's a number of different avenues we could go down if we had unlimited funds. We don't have that right now. I'm very interested in identifying other funding sources that could maybe help us with some of the additional work that could be done. But as of right now, the aquifer situation is a bit of a black box in this project, right?
All right,
Additional funding resources that we can do that.
Offline. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kate. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you all.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on. We have a half hour for the rest of the agenda. Okay, so next we have, the Earth Law Center who met last week. So the takeaway from that was that we're going to wait until after we finish our climate smart, points, and then we will return to the tree ordinance and put together a subcommittee to work on that. But first we have to get through climate smart. The light bulb exchange. So with Andrew resigning, I have all the light bulbs, and Aaron gave me the rest of her light bulbs. So they are now sitting with me. Then we have 5 distribution points of light bulbs. We gave away some light bulbs at the farmer's market. I'm gonna go to the distribution points and give away some more. I don't know.
How many are left are we talking about?
We have boxes. So if you,
Mad Hatter thing's coming up, so.
hmm?
You thinking costumes?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
And not as we process.
The EV card, grants of $75,000. Last week, the common council approved PISO to be the, grant, to implement the project. I have submitted the application to NYSERDA, though I'm waiting on that submission to be okayed, and then that will move forward, but they'll probably not happen until, not even this year, man, not even about next year, we're talking 2028. Arbor Day, so that's going to be an issue because Andrew has resigned. So we have a whole bunch of, it's a whole big wahoo. So, yeah.
When is it?
Well, I don't know if the spring plantings are gonna happen, because they should be happening now. So with Andrew not around, I think that we're gonna have to postpone everything to the fall, because I don't have the resources right now to do it. Like I said, we have to get past this climate smart thing. We're down a whole bunch of people. So I think we're just gonna have to tell the contractor, we're gonna have to wait until the fall. We even have money, I think, that we encumbered from last year to bring forward, so I don't know what we're gonna do. And if anyone has any other ideas or wants to take it on, I mean, Andrew is a little, he's just out of, he's not available.
Did he have any next steps identified, like, or?
I have an email download from him. So, yeah, we have a contractor, which there's a little bit of red tape we have to get through, but yeah. I mean, I could forward, if you're interested in looking at it,
Yeah, just send it to me.
yeah, I mean, I'll forward to you where we're at. I mean, Andrew's available for a conversation, but he can't take anything else on him right now.
Right.
So, the community solar thing came in front of the common council. I think they had questions just about, and I didn't really have the answers to them, to be honest, about like, you know, the guy, I want to say his name is Brad. Brad was there in front of the council. So, you know, Brad wants a letter to go out, you know, on city letterhead that says that, you know, it's okay for blah, blah, blah. And you know, everyone has still had question marks, even the lawyer guy had question marks about, is this okay for it to go out on the city letterhead? Which I guess, I don't know,
Other cities do it that way.
right?
What's that?
Worksheets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every
other
other
cities do
city
it.
that does this, does it.
I
that
think
way.
we just need like a blessing or something for everyone to know that, yes, this happens and it is part of the climate smart, blah, 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 that, yeah, because everyone was a little bit, because when he said it, everyone, even the lawyer was like, oh, no one really, yeah. It was just, like I said, I wasn't aware myself, I didn't know myself, so I'll be honest.
Who could I follow up with?
I think we just need like. And we could just see, other cities, other cities have done it.
Yeah, and I could connect with.
And you just write a letter to city council and say,
Yeah.
approve this, like.
Yeah,
and
and
let's-
just say, look, this has been done before.
Yeah.
Here's an
Like the whole
example of
point
another
of
city.
CAC, we're advising them on what to do.
Yes,
And it's a
Yeah.
free program that costs the city
Yeah,
nothing,
it's
it saves
opt-in.
all of us
Yeah.
10% off our energy bills.
Yeah.
I know.
It's a joke at
The
this
question came up that, you know, here we have a
It's been like 2 years.
I
Yeah.
know, I'm sorry.
Goodness.
Yeah,
No,
No.
nothing on you, nothing on you, but
Yeah.
like, this is like a little much.
I know. It's like,
For something that's not, you know,
Can we just write a letter to them and just
not
say?
burdensome to the city. And
And
then-
Yeah.
along sign it or something?
You know what, I think we just need to bounce off the city council lawyer, Ken Down, and as long as he's okay, and he'll advise the council, be like, yeah, this is.
Can we just send him an email with all of us CC?
Him and
Just be
Margaret.
like, we all approve of this.
Yeah, and just
Every
explain
city
to
does
what
this.
it is, be like, just have their blessing, and
Yeah.
everyone.
And I can get an example or two from Brad on.
That was fine.
Specifically.
The people had questions, and I'll be honest, like, I was like, I didn't know myself that we were sending it out on city letterhead, so I didn't know how to answer that.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So the tree grants, I guess we're okay with the Howard trees?
Yeah, except, when I was in touch with, I probably CC'd you on your 5 million emails, you poor thing. I had sent an email to Rob, you know, just asking him to reinstate the tree bags.
Oh, yeah, I
The
saw
new
that.
ones for the newly planted trees, but they threw them out, or
Yeah.
because allegedly they threw them out because they had degraded.
Wow.
And so now there are no bags. So if there's any leftover budget from that grant, we should put it towards at
I
least,
think there was.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
there
think
was. Let me ask her
Um,
if there's any money left over. There was like some money. I don't think I heard of it, or not. I don't know.
yeah, at least for the 8-ish new trees, you know, they should all actually have them for the 3rd year for the specs of the grant, as far as I can recall. No, I'll double check that. But, absolutely for the newly replaced service berries.
If we have a list of items of things that we need, you know, I could make one request,
Okay,
things that we need. I think there was some money left over. I don't know if they've done it yet.
Like out of our budget.
Well, we have our budget, yeah, but, this should probably still, if there's still that grant money left,
yeah, I
we
think there
can take it out of that.
Yeah,
She
absolutely.
did,
Yeah.
it was like $2,700 or something like that. She's like, do you have any invoices to put against this? And at the time, which was a couple months ago, I said no.
Yes,
But
but now we do.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying go out and buy it. Let me see if the money is still there first.
Okay,
All right, fine.
we really need to do that.
Okay, so climate smart. I spoke to Tara on Monday. She's going through all of our action, anything that we have planned or submitted
Mhm.
this week. I have another meeting with her, I think I penciled in Monday at 3 p.m. So all of you, if you want to come along, you're all invited to.
What, sorry, what day?
She's gonna come back and say, okay, this is what you need to do,
Monday?
Monday at 3. If you want,
Let me see.
we could do another time too.
No.
Or we could do like in the evening or something else that works. And she could just say, okay, look, this is what I found, you know, you're X number of points away and we need blah, blah, blah to finish it up. And that will still give us like a week or two before we have to hit submit.
Yeah.
Before the May 22nd deadline.
Okay, well, do you want to meet that Tuesday?
What works?
Well, that Monday at 3 doesn't work, but
All right, so what,
we could do Monday
or the Tuesday?
after work to work on the submissions, since you're meeting with me that day, we could just meet later.
So where are we? We're the 5th, so you wanna do what?
The
The
11th? Monday, the 11th?
the 11th or the 12th, but Monday or the Tuesday, or
I would prefer Monday,
you prefer Monday, hold on. What time?
anytime after 5.
Oh, I'm sorry, say again?
Anytime after 5?
Oh, after 5, okay. Does anyone else wanna meet then?
I could do it on Wednesday, but Monday, Tuesday are hard.
Well, I took yours.
You took them?
Yeah, well, I will do them.
And my submission, the other ones are in,
Okay, great, because then I have the other stuff.
Okay.
So it's
but
okay.
if you need help.
All right, you think, you said Monday after 5?
Yeah.
All right, let me confirm with Tara and I'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
So that's so bad. What else? Student grant?
Oh, yeah. Okay, SUNY grant, it's kicking into gear. They want us to do a presentation, an event. So I was trying to nail down an event time, and I believe I have at this point at the library, the first week of June. And we're gonna have to give a presentation about the activities that the community is, Hudson, the city of Hudson to move towards, preparing people for, disasters or whatever. So what they're doing, what we're doing as a city
Mm.
to prepare for climate change and,
Mm.
how we can, provide information to people, et cetera, et cetera. So, I've been working with, Calvin at the youth center, and, so hopefully in the next couple of weeks, he's gonna, do a meet and greet. Before then, I've been at the farmer's market trying to get people. I'm gonna be at the library. I'm gonna be by Silica, just trying to get people to click through for the survey so that they can get the data that they need. But it's been a lot. It's a lot of stuff. So anyway, but it's going. It's going.
I'm a little out of touch. Did you become the community champion of this project?
Yes, yes. And Whitney
Just making sure.
Wilkins is helping me, but she's really
Who's helping?
Whitney Wilkins, who does Perfect 10, but we're both really, stretched pretty thin with this. Anyway, so that's going, Uh, So anybody who wants to help put more posters around or think of places to put them to get people to, click through and register, let me know.
Thank you.
That has to be done.
Okay, seedlings?
Seedlings, we'll be picking them up morning of May 15th, and then did we confirm whether they're gonna be planted, I think the morning of Saturday, May 17th, right? Oh, sorry,
Nothing has
16th.
Nothing has been firmed up yet because I wasn't sure exactly when the pickup was gonna be.
Yes, the last day.
Okay, it's the last week, it's the 15th. Okay, that's what I thought, Because, again, I wanted to do a walk around with Rob, but I think he's too busy.
Can
So,
he still till and like if the site's prepped?
well, again, that conversation has to happen, and
Oh,
it has to
okay.
happen. So, but he did say that he wants them to be delivered to the DPW, because I asked about.
Seedlings.
Yeah. I asked about, where if we get our donation from Lowe's or from wherever, which I'm gonna deal with this week, where it should be delivered. And he said, oh, bring it to the DPW. So I am,
I think we should take care of the seedlings though, since it's like a pretty.
yes, we can, I mean, I'm just, if I didn't forward his response to you, I will, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
you did,
Yeah, but that's what he said. So I, we can do whatever.
yeah.
But it's just, yeah. So I'm distressed about what which I was unaware of, so I don't know.
Do we want to talk about that for just a
Oh,
minute?
we'll get to that, hold on.
Yeah,
One thing at
I
a
know,
time.
but if we were gonna plant things on Promenade Hill, we have to be aware that, there's a potential problem. Find out, I have my ways.
Okay, so what we're talking about now, would you like to,
So
Oh,
I
on
went
the tree.
the tree line, yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
that for, that we planted a tree that was part of a ceremonial, like, organization Buffalo for the Erie Canal anniversary, and then there was plantings at Centennial, there are plantings at, river cities all up and down the Hudson River, and we planted a white pine that they're delivering them to each community, and so we, planted this, in the fall,
Yeah.
and,
It was last week.
it was doing great, like
It's supposed to
really.
be Halloween, but.
DPW had dug a hole for us, we planted it. And then I went a few days ago to take a peek and it was completely gone. And had been removed, and the soil looked undisturbed, it wasn't just cut, it was just, it had been pulled out and then smoothed over. And it was quite distressing to see this. I went with my daughter to like look at it and it was just missing. And and I had wondered if something had happened and the DPW had removed it, but I was in touch with Rob Perry today just to ask if he knew anything about it, and he didn't. So he went down and he looked over the edge and he saw where someone had pulled the tree and just thrown it over the edge, and it looked pretty dead down with other trash. And he said that it's also, it's like, it's depressing. Yeah. He also said there's a reason they also don't put picnic tables on Promenade Hill. They used to. People used to throw those over the edge as well. So it's, and then he showed some pictures of people breaking into the boat float. Someone had broken in there and torn off part of it. I don't know when that was, if that was recent, but it seems like there's a vandal somewhere amongst us, and it was depressing that this particular tree, which was quite small, but was also something that had been like this ceremoniously planted.
I was worried like some of the roots like would get ripped out, the bare roots.
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, it's a very, but this really bothers the hell out of me. If someone's out there just doing, so I'll find out who did this. I will. I will find out. I will find out, and hopefully it will not happen again.
Do you know Peter? Volunteering some information.
I'm volunteering to plan to replace them.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's great.
Oh,
That's
thank
great.
you.
that's very nice.
It's so sad.
And we'll put a very big fence up.
Security camera.
I mean, unfortunately, we've also had a lot of animals in the
Yeah.
area of various kinds. We've had to install security cameras. The public gets the security cameras and I don't blame them, but they do reduce the incidences of vandalism.
Yeah.
All right, well, what are you gonna do? Speaking of planting trees, Hillary, well, we have a couple planting trees this year. Hillary, would you like to?
Sure.
Welcome back, Hillary.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
There's a seat right here for you.
A couple of months ago, when the CAC started, one of the first members on the CAC, well, the first chair was, Jonathan. But one of the first members was Elsa, and, Elsa, listed, I never say the word, that's why I was. Yeah, Elsa, was a landscape architect, and she did, many projects in the city and around. And, So sadly, she passed away 3 years ago, and Carol and I wanted to plant a tree in her honor, and so I wrote a letter to, Rich, Rob, and the mayor, and asked about if we could plant a serviceberry tree in the cemetery. And, we went over, Rob said just pick 3 locations that we can talk about, and yeah, we'll do this. And they seemed happy about it in the mayor's office. And, you know, I thought that I was gonna have to, you guys, come on, help me with this. But while, Carol and I, Carol Friedman, who, lives up on, I forget the name of this. Right. We were over there today and we were looking for these 3 spots and we found like 50. I had wrote a letter, I didn't know if there would be time to talk about it today. And you can, each have a copy of the letter, but the concept was, and I thought that the concept was one that Rich and I had talked about a long time ago or something. But the idea is that there are certain parts of the cemetery that don't have many trees. Well, one, the trees are dying, storms are taking them down, and we haven't done any thinking about replacement trees. And there's certain areas in the cemetery that aren't appropriate for burials, but could be quite appropriate for tree growths. And the idea that I wanted to bring up, but I can't take this on and do this. I'm bringing to the CIC saying, anybody or any new people on the CIC want to take this on? Of asking the city and DPW and the cemetery foreman if these areas are indeed appropriate, but looking at these areas and setting them aside to become memorial groves for the people who want to plant a tree in honor of their deceased person. Yes. They could do that. The thing that could be tricky about that is that I think that there really should be those sites need to be pre-approved by the city and DPW, and then a plan needs to be made for what tree goes where and how much of that plot, and then how much of that plot belongs to that person that's sponsoring that tree. And so that it wouldn't just sort of be random acts of trees getting planted, who knows what, you know, they do or don't go with the master plan or, anyway. And so, that would need to be laid out. And then the cemetery could sell them as plot. People could memorialize their friends there, and it would be not huge, but a little bit more revenue stream to offset the maintenance that they have. There's a lot of maintenance at the cemetery. And I just wondered if this was a concept that somebody on the team would like to run with, maybe not now. We've got a lot going on right now. And, so I've that up in the few hours between, our cemetery visit and coming tonight, so I can just leave these with
I
you.
think it's a great idea.
It's a very,
Yeah.
I'll put it on the agenda and talk to Rob, but I think it's great, and I'm sure I can think of a few places right now where there's a few little triangles where you're not gonna put any burial plots on, but you could easily put trees in like all the lots or something. But yeah, it sounds like a great idea for general, thank you. I don't see why not, and it would be then also be like less to mow too, for,
No.
all right. So, and by the way, little shout out to Erin, who's no longer here on the CAC with us, but,
She's still watering.
she's still there. She waters. You know, in the little entrance to the cemetery, it looks great.
Okay.
Looks great, they cut it back
She's about to have the baby, we better have a replacement waterer for.
any day now, any day
Oh,
now.
really?
So, yeah, so people like watering, there's some watering to do.
We
Just-
spent some time there today and really looked at it, it's really thriving.
Oh, it looks great, it's great, it's a beautiful entrance to the cemetery as opposed to, yeah.
So this might be a crazy idea, but could we potentially, if we are really worried about the bare root seedlings, not, not getting pulled out, could we put them in cemetery?
Oh, I think so. Absolutely,
As a
because,
backup plan, if we're really worried about it, we would have to go check it out.
well, I scoped out that whole area when I was doing that
That's
last grant, all about the cemetery.
I talked to Sam about this, in Seven and something. At Promenade Hill, it'd be with deer, the cemetery, they'll never,
Yeah,
you might as well throw it away, it's not in the cemetery, that's your protection.
There are others here. Okay. Oh, Steve then. So I'm gonna pass this around, well, I'm just gonna say, it. So we got a request in for a tree. On 237 Robinson Street. Already has, and it's the owner of work, so the first and second choice of tree species, a Japanese tree lilac and a service berry. So I gave him the list of potential trees, and these are the two that he picked. So any issue, question, comments? That sound right?
Could
It's
you
on the
repeat that?
list.
I'm sorry.
It's on the list. So, okay, so he wants to plant a tree on 237 Robinson Street.
He
right?
wants to plant it himself.
The hole is already exists. Right, fine. So on your property, yes. First and second choice of tree species. So what happens when we get a street tree request? Is that it comes to us first, and then we look at the species and we're like, we give them a list of species to choose from, and we look at the species that they choose, we're like, yeah, okay, fine, or no. And then it moves on to Wild Perry. So that's where we're at right now. So the first and second choice of tree species is a Japanese tree lilac and a service berry to go down on Robinson Street.
so they just pick those not based on any site conditions or,
There is a list that we sent.
Just from our list, but.
but they haven't chosen like the tree that will work best in it.
That I do not know.
What is our process? Or
This is the process.
this is the process.
The saplings used to, when we had the,
Okay,
yeah,
hold on.
Hillary was very involved in that process.
We planted, other service berries on that street a couple of years ago, and, the service berry will definitely do well there, because there's other partners in the neighborhood, and they like to, they enjoy each other. Japanese tree lilac should be all fine on that street. I don't know the exact house.
It's next door to Brent.
It's next door,
Two,
it'll-
two,
So it's at that
two doors
corner.
up, two doors up, actually,
Oh, few doors in.
yeah, I'll.
Yeah. in the middle.
Okay.
It's in the middle.
It should be fine as long as the hole is large enough, whatever. So there was an existing tree there and it's gone and they're still.
And then right that it died,
I guess. I guess,
down there and email it because
yeah. They're replacing a dead tree, that's what it says, proposed dimension by tree hole already exists. Replacing the dead tree.
Okay.
But is it that that the property owner will pay, it wants to plant it himself, or they? I wasn't sure if we have a wait
Yeah.
list of people still from the last time that were waiting for street trees.
No, this is, I think they're willing to pay for it themselves.
So they're just requesting the approval for them to go ahead and
Yes.
do it.
Yes,
Yeah.
Andrew on State Street, the same process.
Oh.
So if someone wants to put in a tree,
Mhm.
we send them a form to fill out. They can, say, here are the species to put in. If you're gonna do it yourself, it's your property and you're gonna buy the tree, great. Our donated trees, street trees is a separate process.
Okay, and
And then Rob Perry does like a dig safe, puts that in to make sure that it's, even though there's an existing.
Right, and
tree
we
there,
just,
make sure it's
the
safe.
species, it goes on to road.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I just like a request, there are certain, trees growing in areas like the Ginkgos or the Japanese tree line that do survive in urban settings, but are not native species. And, any tree sequesters carbon and, provides shade. They don't feed the insect life and the environment the way a native species does. And I think the CAC should encourage all homeowners to plant native species.
I agree. I was surprised at the
Yeah.
Japanese lilac.
that was literally my next question.
Yeah, the service
Do
berry
we
for sure.
have
The service berries
Yeah.
are right.
Only native
That's the
species, yeah.
So it should say service berry? Recommend-
Yeah, and can.
Maybe we should look at those.
We should-
Yeah,
we
can
should
we
maybe
update the
look.
list so it's only.
Fair enough.
I mean, I thought it was, no? Wasn't it?
Ginkgos are on the list, so they're not.
They're still
not
on the
list. Tree line, not-
Yeah, it may have just been an adopted list from like ginkgos are so prevalent on so many street trees.
Other trees that.
Yeah, and they're good.
So they're, plants and streets, I understand, but, I love ginkgos, but I just think. Native is better.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, the list probably has, I don't,
What about if we, even if it's like, we just like identify on the list which ones are native and we just say the preferences are these, just in the meantime, too, like,
well, we can do the list.
yeah.
I really thought the list had been updated a couple years ago with just native trees. But I haven't looked at it in a while, so I don't,
I'll resend the list to
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
okay.
It's on.
I mean, there might be an old list with an old form.
It might be an
that
old list
The
with an old
DPW
form.
had online that.
That's a good.
Yeah.
one.
I mean, we had this discussion with him too, when we were sitting down one
Yeah.
day. We went through-
Yes, because you know what, there probably are two lists out there, because there's another place on the website that says, like a little, frequently asked questions of new residents list.
Mm.
What if I want to plant a street tree? That's where this list, I think, lives. And there's another list that we have on the street tree application form, which I think is the second list. There might actually be two lists, now I'm thinking about
We
it.
want the street tree list.
Yeah, we need to look at both lists, fair enough. So yeah, I sent him, I did a search on the website and found the other list, it's like, what do I do if I want to plant a street tree list? All right, fine. All right, so, we'll tell them Service Berry. And then we'll relook at our list. What else? Anything else? Anyone else? New person in the audience?
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so good, how are you?
Good, welcome.
Thank you.
Any comments?
No comments, I just came in today, my dear friend and neighbor here, Valerie, said that you guys had some openings on the,
Yeah, just come over here. We have a lot of work.
and mentioned that today might be a good time to just come check them out, so. Thank you.
Tell us
He's
about,
great.
tell us about yourself.
Oh, I'm Elaine. And, I've been a husband for about 2 years. Love it. Enjoy all of your, excellent work in town, especially Folkdale. One of my favorite places, especially in summertime. I benefit a lot from, how like natural and things has been, I do a lot of like urban foraging and things like that. And so this just kind of piqued my interest as, yeah. It's in my day-to-day life.
Love that.
Well, you sat through a meeting, so you know what we actually do. This is what we do. We meet once a month
Mhm.
for an hour. I keep it to an hour. We have 2 minutes. And everyone takes on a project. And, you get an email account with the city. And what else? I don't know. There's a ton of work.
Awesome,
It's all about like how much you can take on and what you actually want to do.
cool.
I mean, you're doing like environmental stuff, it's infinite, so it's whatever you want. Whatever you can, so, but, if you want, what happens, the process is, if you're interested, you send me an email, richfollow@cityofhudson.org.com, whatever we are. And, a letter of interest, and then it goes in front of the common council, and everyone says yay, or comes here first, everyone says yay, and then it goes to the common council, comes yay, and then you have to take an oath, and then you get a suit email, and then, you know, you get to sit on this side of the, barricade. Yes, the privilege. And, like I said, it's one meeting a month, 1 hour a month here, and then everyone kind of like does other stuff throughout the course of the month, and then we meet here just for like status updates.
Cool, I love the homework aspect.
Yeah, it's all homework throughout the course of the month, right, yeah. That's it.
I will send you that. It's like,
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Anyone else?
The tabling went okay?
Oh, tabling, yes, how was
Thank
it?
you for doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good. Sam there too.
Yeah.
We got
Did multiple.
a good number of people, maybe like 10 something, that took some light bulbs. A couple of people that, you know, just stopped by to see what was up. Nothing crazy, but went well.
Mhm.
I mean, we still have lots left, but we chipped away at it.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else, anyone else?
I was just gonna ask, I know you sent an email a while ago about like the recycling bin thing.
Oh, yeah, in this building, yeah.
Yeah. What?
I have to touch, we kind of pushed it off because they weren't going to get, the approval in time for our, deadline, but we can. And maybe this is just a question, if you wanna, what's her name again, sorry, Tiffany?
The mayor's-
No, sorry, with the CSC.
Tara.
Tara. We might wanna ask her, like, if we wanna add more points to our, like, when can we submit for more points after this?
There's a chair.
Because we have like this, the recycling in here, it will just take a little longer, but, it seems like the mayor wants to do it. And then it's just passing an executive order or something.
Oh.
Or something really simple, just to get so it just wouldn't be in time for this
Right, the cycle.
cycle, that's why we're like, I'm not gonna put any mind to it yet. But there are a few things on our list that we'll wanna, that were for future submissions, so. If we can ask Tara, like, for future submissions, what that cadence is, and
Okay,
who do we let know, like, that we wanna reapply, or anything like that, that would be fun.
all right, and we talked about what, Monday at 5, right, is that
Monday, Monday, the 11th at 5, yeah,
5-ish? Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
which is next Friday.
all right, sounds good.
Well, I can try to take on
Yeah.
the recycling.
Yeah, I can walk you through some of the other future submission ones that you can get started on. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
And then we'll have hopefully Tara will tell us what the next.
The next
round.
round is.
Because if we continuously submit every year like 20 points, I feel like we'll never get to the point where we're at now, where we're like, we have to submit.
We're so behind.
Yeah, so I feel like if we always just try to have one person doing like
A few
10 to
things.
20 every year.
Every
like, I feel
Sunday,
like-
yeah, you're right, you're right.
Yeah.
If we just, kept that, yeah,
Just keep a cushion,
right, there,
it's like a budget,
good. No, you're right.
a savings account
That's-
of points.
All right, anything else? Anyone else? No, motion to adjourn?
Yeah. I want to talk to Lincoln.
Oh, yes?
Yes, yeah, and motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Yeah, adjourned.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Yeah.